Seraphina had always been curious, a trait that set her apart from her peers in the Altherian delegation. As she arrived aboard the newly discovered human ship, her mind buzzed with questions. The Altherians had always viewed humans as primitive, disorganized beings, their worlds deemed insignificant in the grand scheme of the galaxy. Yet something about these humans intrigued her. Their reputation for resilience, for overcoming insurmountable odds, piqued her interest more than she cared to admit. As she stepped onto the docking bay, her large, luminous eyes took in every detail, seeking to understand the mystery that was humanity. The human ship was nothing like the grand, polished vessels she was used to. The exterior was minimalist, almost crude, lacking the intricate designs and shimmering surfaces of Altherian ships. It looked more like a tool than a work of art, functional to the core, devoid of unnecessary embellishments. The Altherians prided themselves on their aesthetic elegance, where even the most basic transport ship was a marvel to behold. But here, standing before this human vessel, Seraphina couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. The ship's appearance suggested simplicity, but there was something more, something hidden beneath its unassuming facade. It was as if the ship was challenging her perception, asking her to look beyond the surface. The moment Seraphina set foot inside the ship, she was overwhelmed by the stark contrast between the exterior and interior. The ship was alive. Every corner buzzed with activity, and the air was thick with a sense of purpose. The organized chaos was unlike anything she had ever experienced. Humans moved with a rhythm that seemed chaotic at first glance, but as she watched closely, Seraphina began to see the pattern. It was a dance, each step perfectly timed, each movement contributing to the larger operation. The interior of the ship was a fusion of cultures, technologies, and ideas. Different languages filled the air, mingling in a harmonious cacophony that was both confusing and mesmerizing. Seraphina's eyes fell on the crew members, a mix of humans from various backgrounds, working side by side with an ease that belied their differences. One crew member, a tall woman with dark skin and bright, intelligent eyes, nodded at Seraphina as she passed, a small gesture that spoke of acknowledgement and camaraderie. Another, a wiry man with a shock of red hair, was deep in conversation with a being who looked nothing like the humans she had seen so far, yet they communicated effortlessly. The diversity was astounding. These humans, so different from one another, operated as one, driven by a common goal that Seraphina couldn't yet discern. The more she observed, the more she realized that this was not mere cooperation, it was unity, forged through shared struggles and a mutual respect for each other's strengths. As the delegation continued its tour, Seraphina couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. There was an energy in the air, a tension that simmered beneath the surface of the ship's bustling activity. The humans were polite, accommodating even, but there was a guardedness in their eyes, a subtle hesitation in their movements. It was as if they were hiding something, something important. Seraphina's curiosity deepened. She had come here to observe, to report back to her people, but now, more than ever, she felt the urge to explore further, to uncover the secrets that lay hidden within this ship. She could sense that the answers she sought were here, waiting to be discovered, if only she had the courage to look. Seraphina's curiosity was relentless. The human ship, with its strange energy and hidden complexities, beckoned her to explore beyond the carefully curated tour given to the Altherian delegation. She noticed subtle things, the way certain doors remained closed as they passed, the hushed conversations that ceased when she was near, and the fleeting glances exchanged by the crew. These signs only fueled her desire to uncover what lay beneath the surface. Driven by a need to understand, Seraphina began to stray from the designated path, her steps guided by instinct and the tantalizing promise of secrets yet to be revealed. Her exploration led her deeper into the ship, to areas the delegation had not been shown. The atmosphere grew quieter, more focused. The usual bustle of the crew diminished as she ventured further, replaced by an air of intense concentration. Then she found it, a section of the ship unlike any other. This area was heavily secured, with barriers and access panels requiring clearances far above what had been granted to the visitors. Seraphina hesitated, knowing she was crossing a line, but the pull of the unknown was too strong. She used her natural Altharian ability to slip past unnoticed, a skill honed over years of training in diplomacy and stealth. What she discovered on the other side left her breathless. The hidden section was a hub of innovation and technological prowess that surpassed anything she had seen, even within her own advanced civilization. The air thrummed with the energy of creation, of ideas being forged into reality. Humans were working on projects that defied conventional understanding. Their technology was not just advanced, it was revolutionary, blending elements of science and engineering in ways that seemed almost chaotic, yet somehow, it all made sense. There was a raw, unfiltered brilliance in the work being done, a testament to the human spirit of invention. Serafina was particularly struck by the central project, a device that seemed to be a fusion of energy and matter, something that could potentially alter the fabric of space itself. The implications were staggering. This was technology that could shift the balance of power in the galaxy, putting humanity at the forefront. The Altharians had always considered themselves the pinnacle of technological evolution, but what Serafina saw here challenged that belief. The humans were not just catching up, they were on the verge of surpassing them, driven by a chaotic yet effective blend of creativity and diverse perspectives. Every corner of this section buzzed with the thrill of discovery, each human contributing in a unique way, their differences becoming their greatest strength. As Serafina stood amidst this whirlwind of innovation, a deep internal conflict began to take root. She felt an overwhelming sense of admiration for what the humans had achieved, but it was tinged with fear. What would this mean for the Altharians? For the galaxy? She had a duty to report her findings, to warn her people of this new development, but a part of her hesitated. There was something more here, something that went beyond mere technological advancement. It was the human spirit, the very essence of what drove them to achieve the impossible. Should she rush to expose this, or should she stay and learn more, understand what was driving these people to such heights? The weight of this decision bore down on her, as she realized that whatever choice she made, it would have far-reaching consequences, not just for herself, but for the entire galaxy. Serafina's unease grew with each passing hour aboard the human ship. The more she observed, the more her suspicions took root. The crew wasn't just going about their tasks like ordinary engineers or scientists. There was a precision to their actions, a quiet intensity in their discussions that suggested they were working towards something far more significant. Conversations were clipped, and words were carefully chosen, as if everyone was guarding a secret. The crew members moved with a purpose that went beyond mere exploration, and their interactions hinted at a shared understanding of a greater goal. Serafina felt it in the air, a charged atmosphere that spoke of plans being laid, of strategies being formed. These were not just workers. They were leaders, visionaries preparing for something monumental. Her suspicions were confirmed through a series of chance overheard conversations and careful observations. During a moment of quiet, she found herself near a group of crew members engaged in a hushed discussion. Phrases like, "the turning point, galactic realignment," and "establishing a new order," floated to her ears, each one landing with the weight of revelation. This was no ordinary ship. It was not merely an exploratory vessel sent to map the stars or establish trade routes. It was the spearhead of a mission that could reshape the very structure of the galaxy. The humans were planning something that would challenge the existing powers, something bold and unprecedented. Serafina realized that this ship was at the heart of a much larger operation, one that could change the fate of countless worlds. As Serafina continued to piece together the crew's intentions, she couldn't help but be struck by the sheer audacity of their plan. The humans weren't content to merely survive or thrive within the current galactic order, they sought to redefine it. Their ambition was breathtaking, driven by a vision of unity and strength that transcended their individual differences. Despite their varied backgrounds, cultures, and even species, the crew worked together with a level of cohesion that Serafina had never seen, even among her own people. This unity was their greatest weapon, allowing them to dream bigger, reach further. The humans were united not by blood or heritage, but by a shared belief in a future where they could stand as equals, or even as leaders, in the galaxy. It was a stark contrast to the Altharian society, where divisions and rigid hierarchies often stifled progress. But with this understanding came a profound dilemma. Serafina was torn between her duty to her people and her growing admiration for the humans. The Althurians would see this as a threat, an upstart race daring to challenge the established order. Reporting her findings would undoubtedly lead to preemptive actions against humanity, actions that could spark a conflict the galaxy had not seen in millennia. Yet there was something in the human spirit that resonated with her, a sense of possibility that she had never felt before. She stood at a crossroads, knowing that the choice she made next could alter the course of history. Should she warn her people, or should she stay, learn more, and perhaps become part of something greater than herself? The weight of the decision pressed down on her, and for the first time, Serafina felt truly uncertain of the path she should take. Serafina's exploration of the ship had already revealed more than she could have imagined, but nothing prepared her for what she discovered next. As she continued her covert investigation, she came across a secured chamber, more heavily guarded than anything she had seen so far. Her heart pounded as she bypassed the security protocols, driven by a mix of fear and determination. Inside, she found a collection of data files, their contents displayed on a series of holographic screens. The images and schematics before her were both fascinating and terrifying. They detailed a new form of technology, one that could disrupt the delicate balance of power in the galaxy. It was a weapon, not in the traditional sense, but something far more insidious. A system capable of rendering existing alliances obsolete, of nullifying the technological advantages that races like the Althurians had relied on for centuries. The implications were clear. With this technology, humanity could challenge the mightiest of galactic powers, including her own people. The weight of her discovery pressed down on her, but Serafina knew she couldn't keep this to herself. She sought out one of the human crew members she had observed earlier, a man who seemed to hold a significant position among them. Her approach was direct, her voice laced with the tension of her newfound knowledge. She demanded answers. What were they planning to do with this technology? The man didn't deny it. Instead, he explained. He spoke of a galaxy trapped in stagnation, of powers that had grown complacent and corrupt. The current order, he said, served only those at the top, leaving countless worlds to suffer under the weight of oppression and inequality. Humanity, with its history of overcoming adversity, saw a different path. They envisioned a galaxy where power was not concentrated in the hands of a few, but shared among all who sought to build a better future. This technology, he explained, was a tool, not for domination, but for liberation. It would level the playing field, giving every race, every world, a chance to stand on equal footing. Serafina listened, her mind racing. The human's words resonated with a truth she couldn't ignore. The Althurians, for all their advancements, had indeed become part of a system that was increasingly unjust. Yet, the potential for chaos in what the humans were proposing was immense. What if this new order led to even greater conflict, to wars that could devastate entire star systems? She saw in the humans both the potential for greatness and the seeds of destruction. Their ambition was as dangerous as it was admirable. The moral dilemma gnawed at her. Should she report this to the Althurian Council, potentially sparking a preemptive strike against the humans? Or should she trust in the vision these people had, a vision that, if successful, could bring about a new era of equality and cooperation in the galaxy? Serafina's thoughts swirled as she stood on the precipice of a decision. Everything she believed in, everything she had been taught, was being challenged. The path before her was fraught with uncertainty, and yet she knew she couldn't turn back. The choice she made now would set the course for the future, one that could lead to peace, or to war. As she considered her options, the weight of her decision bore down on her, and she realized that whatever path she chose, the galaxy would never be the same. Tension gripped the ship as the humans made their final preparations. The air was thick with anticipation, every crew member moving with a purpose that left no room for doubt or hesitation. Serafina could feel it. A storm was brewing, one that would soon break over the galaxy with a force no one could fully predict. The ship hummed with the energy of a mission on the brink of execution, and Serafina knew that time was running out. The humans were about to embark on a journey that could change everything, and she was standing at the crossroads of fate. The choices she had been wrestling with now loomed large, demanding resolution. Every fiber of her being sensed that the moment to act was fast approaching, a moment that would irrevocably alter her life and the lives of countless others. Faced with the gravity of the situation, Serafina made her choice. She had weighed the risks, the potential for destruction, and the hope for a better future, and she knew where her heart lay. The human's vision was fraught with danger, but it also held the promise of true change, a break from the stagnation and corruption that had plagued the galaxy for so long. Serafina couldn't ignore the pull of that possibility. Quietly, she aligned herself with the human crew, offering her skills and knowledge to aid in their mission. Her decision was not without fear, but it was made with a resolve she hadn't felt before. In the humans, she saw a chance to build something new, something that could bring about the justice and equality she had always yearned for. The crew, sensing her sincerity, welcomed her into their fold, and for the first time, Serafina felt like she was part of something larger than herself, something that mattered on a galactic scale. As the final countdown began, the ship's systems came alive, each one checked and double-checked by the meticulous crew. Serafina, now fully integrated into their ranks, took on the role of liaison, using her deep understanding of Altherian protocols and strategies to help refine the mission plan. The crew's trust in her was clear, and it filled her with a sense of purpose she had never known. The ship lifted off, breaking away from the orbit of the quiet planet where it had been hidden, and set course for the heart of the galaxy. As the stars streaked by, Serafina felt a surge of excitement and apprehension. She was leaving behind everything she had ever known, stepping into uncharted territory with allies who were once strangers but now felt like family. The mission was underway, and there was no turning back. As the ship pushed further into the unknown, Serafina allowed herself a moment of reflection. The path ahead was uncertain, fraught with challenges that would test every ounce of her resolve. But as she looked out into the vastness of space, she felt a sense of hope that had been absent from her life for far too long. This was the beginning of something new, something that could reshape the galaxy in ways she could barely comprehend. The final words echoed in her mind. This was not just the start of a mission, it was the dawn of a new era, for humanity, for the Altherians, and for every being in the galaxy who dared to dream of a better future.